The Nigerian International Petroleum Summit, NIPS, has quickly gathered momentum to become a major international event since its debut 3 years ago. This episode brings you highlights of the just concluded 2021 edition. Don't go away.
The Nigerian International Petroleum Summit, NIPS, in its fourth iteration, is a program of the federal government of Nigeria under the auspices of the Ministry of Petroleum Resources and its parastatals, a platform with which Nigeria engages local, regional, and international communities to promote her oil and gas potentials. The opening ceremony of the 2021 edition, themed From Crisis to Opportunities, New Approaches to the Future of Hydrocarbons, was held at the State House Banquet Hall in the Presidential Villa, Abuja. In attendance were top executives of the energy industry, policy leaders, and other relevant stakeholders. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Petroleum Resources, Bitrus Nabasu, delivered the opening address.
The global pandemic has pushed us in the oil and gas sector to persevere, and through innovative thinking and actions, created new mechanisms towards sustaining the global oil and gas sector amidst a very trying time. This for us in Nigeria birthed the Decade of Gas initiative of the federal government as a means of diverting from premium motor spirit, PMS, with its resultant environmental concerns, to the use of a cleaner energy. It is on such premise of the need for cooperation and collaboration among African countries and the developed world, especially in trying times such as these, that such event as the Nigerian International Petroleum Summit holds.
There were goodwill messages from the Secretary Generals of African Petroleum Producers Organization, APO, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, and Gas Exporting Countries Forum, GECF.
I would like to commend member country Nigeria for the leadership role it has played in the continent's oil and gas industry. Only last week, Nigeria hosted the first Africa Local Content Roundtable, where a number of APO member countries participated, expressing their great concern about the future of the industry in Africa, especially in the light of the global aggressive pursuit of energy transition. It is therefore gratifying to note that most of the concerns expressed by participants at the roundtable are topics of the various sessions at NIPS 21. And to His Excellency, Mr. President, APO thanks you for your continuous support and that of your government. I thank you all.
My particular appreciation goes to His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, as well as His Excellency Timim Presilva, Minister of State for Energy Affairs. They have been our long-standing partners, and having worked closely with them, I can affirm that the energy sector in Nigeria is currently witnessing a golden era of sustainable growth under their wise and prudent leadership. The GECF, Gas Exporting Countries Forum, is proud that one of its founding members has placed natural gas at the center of its economic revitalization. And we hope that others will emulate Nigeria's example, especially in the context of economic recovery. I am sure that the energy world will look keenly towards Nigeria as it develops its gas industry for the future. I believe the Nigerian success will inspire development of the industry elsewhere in Africa, which enjoys a particular focus at the GECF.
OPEC has been extremely proud to support this summit since its first iteration in 2018. In just over a month's time, we will commemorate a transformative date for OPEC and Nigeria, the 50th anniversary of Nigeria's membership of our organization. Over the last 5 decades, the unique relationship between OPEC and Nigeria has had a multitude of positive consequences for both parties. The intertwining destinies of OPEC and Nigeria predates membership. the devastating spread of COVID-19 severely impacted global oil demand, and again, developing economies were exposed. We are determined to build on the progress achieved thus far and do what we can to continue to contribute to stability in the oil market on a sustainable basis in the interest of all producers, all consumers, and the global economy.
As the world progressively starts to mitigate the impact of the pandemic, and I think today is a really good example of what can be done. We are starting to see signs, of a resurgence of global economic growth, and I think this will present Nigeria, with new opportunities, to develop what we all know is very, very large or abundant natural resources. Now, 2020 also saw momentum towards the energy transition, and we saw some global reduction in demand for fossil fuels. And I think one thing is clear to me is that this trend will continue. So I think this summit really is a perfect opportunity for all the key actors, government, regulators, national companies, private companies, and all the suppliers to the industry to work together to ensure that Nigeria is competitive and in the international landscape and as an attractive destination for investment. So in all this, OPTS remains committed as a trusted partner of the government and all stakeholders in the industry to move the industry forwards.
The theme of this conference cannot be better than anyone else can imagine, to say that from crisis to opportunity, new approach to the future of oil. We are aware all of the energy transition issues that are going on across the globe. We also know the challenges that the COVID-19 has thrown at the industry and on the entire globe. And the end result is that there is depression in demand, people's choices have changed, many things will never come back to the normal that we know, and ultimately it will affect our business. To combat this crisis to advantage, this industry must work together to look at advantages that are inherent in the transition that we're going through. Every company must try to be an energy company and not necessarily an oil and gas company. That's what everybody is doing, and this is what we're also doing in the NNPC to make sure that we transform from what we are today to an energy company. And to do this, you must automate, you must reduce your costs, you must be more efficient, and also you must be more collaborative in our approaches, and this is paying off for us. And of course, ultimately, this crisis, as it is today, as we face in the industry, is surely an opportunity for us to do many things differently, and particularly more so in our country today, where the enormous gas resources can be converted to value, and we can join the journey for blue and green hydrogen.
In his ministerial address, the Honorable Minister of State Petroleum Resources, Chief Temitope Silva, hampered on collaboration as the surest way to fully harnessing the nation's hydrocarbon resources.
With increasing oil price volatility and increased pressure for cost reduction, our industry needs to reinvent itself so that we can fully utilize the dividends to set the country on the path to industrialization and prosperity. That is why this summit is focusing on new approaches. For me, the new approach is collaboration. The industry needs to overcome the strategy of working in silos and embrace collaboration and knowledge sharing. We need to fully entrench that culture of collaboration by working together, sharing knowledge and expertise, pooling talent and resources among teams, industry peers and MDAs at all levels. That is a sure way the industry can decrease waste, improve efficiency, and lower its break-even costs for the industry's survival and chart its eventual return to sustainable profitability.
Chief Temitope Silva insisted that hydrocarbons are still very much relevant in the light of the global energy transition.
The scenarios being projected by some experts is that energy transition and winning the world of fossil fuel will make the world a better place. I believe so too, but I do not see that happening overnight. Hydrocarbons have provided the majority of the world's energy for centuries, And that fact is not going to change all of a sudden. I am yet to see that disruptive technology that has great flexibility, affordability, and applicability to replace oil and gas immediately. However, Nigeria is on track in moving its economy to cleaner energy sources in the area of renewables. Gas currently serving as the bridge to achieving that.
Leaders of the two chambers of the National Assembly also addressed the gathering.
The National Assembly is and remains very committed to ensuring that Mr. President and the administration continues to enjoy the support of the National Assembly, the legislature, in revitalizing the country's hydrocarbon sector. In 2020, the National Assembly passed the Deep Offshore and Inland Basin Production Sharing Contract Act 2004. That was one effort between the legislature and the executive arms of government. We believe that the National Assembly has every reason to work with the executive arm of government to ensure that the oil industry in Nigeria is competitive and provides the optimum revenues to our country for the development of our nation.
The role of the legislature. I'm not an expert in the industry. I know very little compared to most of you that are seated here today. However, what I do know is that for you to succeed, for that industry to grow, the legislature plays a very important role in providing the framework for its growth. And what is that framework? As of today, the framework that we know, and that is a bill that is at the tongue of everybody in Nigeria today, that is the PIB, Petroleum Industry Bill. The Petroleum Industry Bill has been long coming, and it's been almost 20 years now. We never got it right. And we are determined in the National Assembly to get it right this time around.
Subsequent days of the summit featured several high-level panel discussions around topics centered on charting the way forward for Nigeria's oil and gas industry in the post-COVID-19 pandemic era. Delivering his keynote address in the session on technology, the Executive Secretary, Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, NCDMB, Engineer Simbi Kasiewabote, predicts a redistributed energy mix rather than an outright swap of one form of energy to another.
While the push for this energy shift in developed countries may be due to the depletion of their forest, coal deposit, and lately their hydrocarbon reserves, I believe that every country will continue to have components of the various types of energy in their energy mix. The degree of the mix will vary across countries, regions, and continents. I believe that the technological capability of any country would therefore determine what constituents of its energy mix will be. It is not that we can flicker the switch and bang, it is renewable. And I think somebody did a statistic someday and said, look, the only form of energy that we see as a people today that are polluting the environment is probably your AGO, your PMS, and your KERO. If you look around you in this room, almost 80% of the products you see in this room are products of hydrocarbon. How are you going to replace that?
Speaking further, Engineer Wobolte opined that research and development as well as innovation are vital in the new post-pandemic approach to opportunities for the future of any nation.
Research and development is very important for any country that wants to be in control of the utilization of its natural endowments. Otherwise, such countries will continue to leave behind in-country value and continue to be at the mercy of energy merchants selling the latest technology at a premium price. Let me clear that there is nothing wrong in adding new source of energy to a country's portfolio of energy options provided for its citizens. In fact, this is the way to keep at pace with modernization. This should not, however, be done to the detriment of a country's position of comparative advantage. The last point, therefore, I want to make on this post-pandemic approach to opportunities for the future is innovation. I believe that innovation will never go out of fashion as it drives the push for excellence in human endeavors. Let me use this opportunity to reiterate that the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board has always been very supportive of innovation and technology as mandated in the NOGIC Act 2010. Our 10-year strategic roadmap recognizes research and development as a key enabler in attainment of our 70% Nigerian content target by 2027.
Some participants shared the experience.
The conference has been really interesting, and I think, as you've heard from many speakers in the conference, it's important that we maximize the resources that we have. We can't afford not to join the energy transition. It's moving along. We can't wait, and now is the time to do it. We must embrace the energy transition. We must leverage our gas resources to develop our countries, to create gas-based industries that power our economies as well. And in terms of, whether it's the right decision, it's absolutely the right decision to take. I just hope that we do not talk, and not take actions. Like you heard the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources say, enough of the rhetorics, enough of the talk, let's get to work.
We have had delegates, one of the most robust and expert panelists drawn from all over the world and in this country. They have spoken independently, they have spoken boldly, and they have spoken from the perspective of the industry, both those in the upstream, midstream, downstream, the oil and gas generally, the service area, those who are involved in offshore and marine. Everyone have spoken. Students spoke, women spoke, youth spoke, even a research institute spoke, academia spoke. The media was given opportunity to interact. And the summary of it, or like I told you earlier, is what? Action, action, action. The Train 7 is action. The Decade of Gas is action.
Yeah, absolutely. I think at the moment the Nigerian Content Board is doing a fantastic job. I'd say it's virtually a breath of fresh air in terms of a lot of what they're pioneering, supporting a lot of the local people, and also really promoting technology with some of the key partnerships they've developed in both the production processes and throughout the value chain really. So I'd like to see the content boards obviously come in and support what we are doing in terms of facilitating trade through technology, and basically just they should keep doing what they're doing, because they're doing a fantastic job at the moment right now.
The 2021 Nigerian International Petroleum Summit was highly successful, and as part of government's move towards energy transition, subsequent iterations of the Technology and Business Conference will be known as the Nigeria International Energy Summit. We rejoice with our dear country and all Nigerians as we mark 22 years of our continuous democratic journey. We commend the executive, legislature, and judiciary for their roles in sustaining our democracy journey. We thank President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, for energizing the implementation of the Nigerian Oil and Gas Industry Content Development Act through the Executive Orders 03 and 05, which promote local content in public procurement and in contracts, science, engineering, and technology. NCDMB pledges to deepen Nigerian content performance for greater economic benefits for Nigeria and all Nigerians. Happy Democracy Day, Nigeria. After more than 5 decades of the oil exploration in Nigeria, comes a board that is bringing together industry majors, investors, and the states in the oil and gas corridor of Nigeria, and cementing access to oil fields for higher productivity, to build capacities in Nigeria, to support increased investment in the industry, to build local capacity and competencies, to create linkages to other sectors of the national economy, to boost industry contributions to the growth of our national gross domestic product, increasing Nigerian content in the oil and gas industry. Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, NCDMB, building local capacities in the oil and gas industry.
And that's it from us this week. Thanks for watching. And don't forget, the ideal local content penetration is not a sprint, but a marathon that requires focus and tenacity to ensure its implementation. Your health is in your hands, so wash or sanitize them regularly. Please continue to observe physical distancing and wear a face mask in public places. Until next week, I am Priya Faka.